Dear grade 6 students, welcome to the lesson 12-hour clock and 24-hour clock. At first, we will see important notes which will help you to identify between 12-hour clock and 24-hour clock. First, let us see 12-hour clock. 12-hour clock time representation should have either AM or PM attached to the digits. So when you are given a time, to understand which format is it, you just have to look with the digits. If you have AM or PM, which means it is 12-hour clock. Here is an example for you. 3:20 AM. Because we have AM with it, this is 12-hour format. Let us see another example. 04:15 and there is no AM or PM, so this is not 12-hour format. So that's the first thing to identify between 12-hour and 24-hour format. Now let us see how to identify is it 24-hour clock and what are the important points. 24-hour clock should have 4 digits in it. If not, we should add a 0 as the first digit. For example, if you write 9:20, we don't have AM or PM, so this is not 12-hour clock. Neither this is not in 24-hour clock because we need to have 4 digits. So to make it 4 digits, the only possibility is to add a 0 before 9. So it should be written 0920 without a space or without the colon sign in between. We can also write the same time with colon in between the 4 digits. After 2 digits, we put the colon sign and then 2 digits. Or we can even represent it by in between the digits. These are 3 formats to represent time in 24-hour clock. So remember, in 24-hour format, we will not have neither AM or PM. So hope you understand how to identify in which format is the time given. There are only 2 formats, either in 12-hour clock with AM or PM and 24-hour clock without AM and PM, but we should have 4 digits. Now let us see how to convert from 12-hour clock to 24-hour clock. There are 3 important points that you have to keep in your mind. Point number 1, if we have AM with the time given to you, it's so easy. Keep the digit as it is. Do not add or subtract anything. But remember, if you have only 3 digits, make it 4 digits by adding a 0 before the first digit. Example, 3:20 AM. We need to change it into 24-hour clock. So at first, we have only 3 digits, so you make it 4 digits by adding a 0 before 3. So this is the first step. Second step is remove AM and then just write 4 digits together. Or we can write it 0320 with a space, or we can also write it with the colon sign in between. Any one of this method will convert 12-hour clock to 24-hour clock. But remember, in 24-hour clock, we should not have AM or PM. Second point to be noted is when we have PM, we should add 12 to the hour. The digit in the hours place, we have to add 12 to it. Let us see an example. 2:15 PM. So whenever we have PM, we need to add 12 to it. So 12 should be added with the digit in the hours place. So it is 2 plus 12, 14:15, or we can write 14:15 with space or with the colon sign. These are the 3 different methods again. And the last point to be noted is that this is very important. You might get confused here. If we have PM, we learned that if we have PM, we add 12. But there is a special situation where we can't add 12 even if we have PM, which means if you have PM with 12, remember PM with 12. Example, 12:10 PM. We cannot add 12 to it, so it will be 24:10. And it will not represent the middle of a day. So what we have to do is keep the same digit as it is. Let us see an example. 12:10 p.m. You know this is in the middle of a day or the noon time. So it should be 12:10 as it is. Do not add 12 even though we have p.m. with it. So what is the last and the most important note here? When you have p.m., we add 12, but when you have p.m. and 12 together, do not add 12, keep it as it is. So this is the 12-hour format because we have p.m. here, and this is the 24-hour format because we don't have a.m. or p.m. here. Now let us see a summary of what we have discussed so far. Here is a list of time starting from morning of a day till the beginning of the next day. 6:20 a.m., almost the time when you prepare for your school. Again, 10:30 a.m., again 11:59 a.m., 12 p.m. 12 p.m. actually the way of writing is 12 noon. This is the correct representation of writing this time. Writing the time in the middle of the day. But it is worldwide accepted to write PM to represent the time in the middle of the day and AM to represent time in the beginning of the day, which is midnight. So actually this should have been written 12:00 midnight, but this is not usually used. So that's why it's represented as AM. And it is meaningful that AM is the beginning of day and 12:00 is the beginning of a day. Now let us apply the three notes that we have studied just before. At first, we need to identify 12-hour clock or 24-hour clock. These are all 12-hour clock format because we have AM or PM with it. Next, we have to convert to 24-hour clock. We have studied with AM, we just keep the digits as it is. And as a note 3, also we studied that with PM and 12 together also, we will not add 12, keep as it is. So from the beginning of a day till 1 o'clock, 1 p.m., we keep the digits as it is, which is so easy. So we just keep the same number. But remember, it should have 4 digits and it should not have AM or PM. So we can write it 620, but we don't have 4 digits, so we add a 0 here. Next one, we don't have to add because this is already 4. There are already 4 digits. 10:30, 11:59, and when you have PM, we studied, we need to add 12 except when you have 12 with PM. So here we are not adding 12, keep the digit as it is, 12:00, 12:30. Now, this is the second note that we have studied. Whenever we have PM, we need to add 12 to the digit in the hours place. So add 12. 1 plus 12 is 13. So we can write 13:45. Remember, neither don't write AM nor PM. Again, 3 plus 12 is 15:50. 8 plus 12 is 20. 10 plus 12 is 22:55. Remember all the digits in the minutes place, whether AM or PM or noon or midnight, just copy as it is. 11 plus 12 is 23:40. Now, this is another important point you have to note. 12:00, as we said, it is a midnight, which means the beginning of the next day. Beginning of the day is represented by 00. This is also said as 24:00, but we never write it. This is the way how you write the beginning of a day. Yes, you can pause a moment, understand, and then let's continue. Here is a table given to you in hours from midnight to 11 p.m. Midnight, as we said, it is 00 because it's the beginning of a day. 1 a.m. To make it 4 digits, we add zeros. And the minute space is 0, so we just keep it 00 again. 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4, until we reach midday. Midday is 12:00 p.m. in 12-hour format, and it is the same as 12. After 12 o'clock, when we reach 1, because it is PM, we need to add 12. 1 plus 12 is 13. 2 plus 12 is 14, and we continue. 10 plus 12 is 22. 11 plus 12 is 23. And when we reach 12 midnight, we can continue the cycle again. Let's practice with few questions. Just keep in your mind to convert from 12-hour clock to 24-hour clock, we need to add 12 with PM. At first, look at all these numbers. These are all accompanied with PM. So we need to add 12 to it. Pause here, write the answers in your copybook, and then check your answers. So because it is PM, we add 12. So 8 plus 12 is 20. 9 plus 12 is 21. 6 plus 12 is 18 with the minute 30. 11 plus 12 is 23 with 30. 4 plus 12 is 16 with 20. And 3 plus 12 is 15, 10 without AM or PM, because all these are in 24-hour format. Excellent. Let's move on to convert from 24-hour to 12-hour clock. When we convert from 12-hour to 24, we add 12. So to do the opposite, we subtract 12 for time that represents afternoon. Let us see the notes one by one. Number 1, if we have digit in the hours place up to 12, which means it is morning, keep the digits as it is and write AM because it is the morning time. Let's see an example. 11:20 will be 11:20 AM because it is before 12 noon. Second note, if we have numbers higher than 12 in the hours place, we have to subtract 12 because we are converting from 24-hour to 12-hour. So we subtract 12 and write PM because it represents afternoon. Let's see an example. 14:15 can be written as 2:15 PM because 14 minus 12 is 2. And because 14 is greater than 12, we have to replace PM with the time in 12-hour format. Now the third note for this conversion is if we have 00 in the 24-hour format, remember to replace 00 by 12 because 00 is the beginning of a day in 24-hour clock, whereas beginning of a day is represented by 12 in 12-hour format. Let's see an example. 0010, this is in 24-hour format. When you write it in 12-hour format, this 00 should be replaced by 12. Let's see a few examples here. Here is the table again. 12-hour clock in the first row and 24-hour clock in the second row. Example. These are all numbers higher than 12. So remember to subtract 12 from hours place. So 20 minus 12 is 8:00 PM. Or simply we can write it 8 PM. But the correct way is to write 8:00 PM. No need to make it 4 digits because this is 12-hour clock. Again, 21 is more than 12, so we subtract 12. 21 minus 12 is 9, which is 9 PM. 17 minus 12 is 5:30 PM. 22 minus 12 is 10, 8 PM. 20 minus 12 is 8, 6 PM. And 13 minus 12 is 1:50 PM. Now let us see how to read it from a clock. This is the normal clock that we can see, but how do we read it in the afternoons? After 12 noon, if we see the number 1, it represents 13 in the 24-hour clock, and we continue. So for example, if we see 7 in the afternoon, which can be written as 19 because 7 plus 12 is 19. This is how we can replace 24-hour. This will be written as 00. Now here is another example. All this time is representing AM, before noon. It is a condition given in the question. If these are time representing before noon, how do we write it in 24-hour clock? Because it is AM, we should not add 12 to the hours clock. So it is 300, so 0300, because we need to make it 4 digits. This is 515, but we make it 4 digits by adding an extra 0 in the beginning. Again, it is 830, so 0830. 545, so 0545. 1020, we already have 4 digits, so we don't have to add extra 0 there. Again, 1130, it is amazing. So easy, right? Let's move on to PM. The condition given to you is, these are all the time given in PM. So we have to convert again to 24-hour clock. But remember, PM and 24, except 12, we need to add 12. So this is 3, which is in the afternoon. So 3 plus 12 will be 1500. Again, 515. 5 plus 12 is 1715. 8 plus 12 is 2030. 5 plus 12 is 1745. 10 plus 12 is 2220. And 11 plus 12 is 2330. Now let's move on to the next objective of this lesson, which is elapsed time. Elapsed time means the duration between two given time. We will have a starting time and an ending time. So to find the elapsed time or duration between two given time, we have to follow 2 steps. First step, we convert it into 24-hour format. And second step is we subtract the ending time minus the starting time. Let us see an example. Calculate the elapsed time from 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Step number 1, we have to convert it into 24-hour clock. Because this is AM, we just write it 0930. And because this is PM, we add 12, so it is 1330. And step 2, we subtract 1330, the ending time minus the starting time. 1330 minus 930, you will get 4 hours. So we can just write 4 hours or 4 hours and 0 minutes. This is also accepted. Let's see more examples. We have to find the elapsed time from 3 o'clock until 4:45. Step number 1, we convert it into 24-hour clock. In 24-hour clock with PM, we add 12, so it is 1500. Again with PM, we add 12 to 4, so 4 plus 12 is 1645. This is step number 1. Step 2, we subtract 1645 minus 1500. 1645 minus 1500 is 16 minus 15 is 1 hour. 45 minus 0 is 45 minutes. So the elapsed time is 1 hour, 45 minutes. This can also be done mentally this way. From 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, we have 1 hour, and 4 o'clock to 4:45, we have 45 minutes. So the elapsed time is 1 hour, 45 minutes. Coming to the end, we'll see one more example. Again, we have PM. We have to calculate the elapsed time. Step number 1, we convert it into 24-hour clock. With PM, we add 12. 7 plus 12 is 19 with 10. 9 plus 12 is 21 with 30. Step 2, we subtract 21, 30 minus 19, 10. 21 minus 19 is 2 hours and 30 minus 10 is 20 minutes. So elapsed time is 2 hours and 20 minutes. And how to do it mentally? From 7:10 to 9:10 is 2 hours, and from 9:10 to 9:30 we have 20 minutes. So the elapsed time is 2 hours and 20 minutes. Hope the idea is clear. Keep practicing with the worksheet uploaded in your mathematics channel. That's all for today.